Well, intro us.
Oh shit, me?
Yeah.
All right. Hi. Welcome to the Dialog Trees podcast, where we talk about many things, including whether or not you can push your dick inside out.
No,
But namely
scrap
about
it.
game design.
No, I refuse. Not the first thing, episode 1.
Absolutely.
Why?
Are you
It
kidding
draws
me?
people in.
It is the perfect intro. We're a bunch of nobodies who like talking about game design. We just like video games, like tabletop RPGs, like nerdy shit. I'm Brayden O'Boyle.
Bruce Highfield.
Aaron Hartley.
Here we're gonna be experimenting. This is our pilot episode. We have no idea how this is gonna go. We're learning as you are. We're gonna be talking about the topics in the games industry that are on our minds over the next hour or so, and just let the conversation just soothe your wounded eardrums from a year full of horrible shit going on. Speaking of eardrums, Bruce, I think you wanted to talk about sound stuff.
Absolutely, because I'm a sound nerd. Specifically, I wanted to talk about something that I think is underrated in games as a whole by the consumer, not so much by the industry, but just sound design and Foley sounds. Everybody cares about the soundtrack and the way the background music is and things like that. And there's controversies about how much is too much or too little, like in Breath of the Wild, how it was very sparse. But I think deeper than that, but it works. But yeah, that's not what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about the way the sound design of the whole world works to help immerse you and can give you a feeling just through the sound. So I think one of the best examples in the past couple of years has been God of War, also known as God of War 4, also known as God of War PS4, also known as Father-Son Simulator. The change from yeah, exactly. The change from the original trilogy to the PS4 continuation is one that really matures the series, but story beats and all that aside, I think part of the reason it works so well is the combat. But again, what makes the combat so satisfying is the sounds of it. The feeling is heavy compared to the original trilogy, where it was just blades of chaos, flipping them around, throwing them. It was just how fast can you combo things. It was very like Devil May Cry kind of style game.
It was a very fast-paced game.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that, but you don't feel like the Ghost of Sparta who can tear gods in half and juggle minotaurs. You just are pressing X to continue combo kind of thing. I guess it's probably like circle or square, I don't remember. But in God of War 4, with the Leviathan axe in particular, there's a certain heft to it. Yeah, they slowed the combat down, but when you throw the axe, the sounds of it whirring through the air are so well done. And then when it hits a target, there's just a solid impact sound they use. And you just feel like, ooh, that guy took some damage. But the best part, in my opinion, is when you recall it and you hear that whir back, and then the solid catch and the thunk, it really adds a weight, which makes it so satisfying. Like, it's one thing to throw the axe for combat, but it feels good to be Kratos tossing that Leviathan axe like it's nothing, but giving you the sense that, like, no, this is a deadly weapon, and he's gonna go Gimli on you.
Well, I mean, this is a game franchise that is well known for, like, every iteration Kratos gets crazy new weapons. Like in God of War 3, you have like the Chaos Blades, you have you have the Bow of Helios, I think you have the Nemean Cestus. You just have all this crazy shit to play around with. In God of War, you start out with the Leviathan axe, and that is it for the majority of the game. You have a weapon, and so that one weapon had to, like, be the game for something that was used to experimenting and constantly giving you new shit to play around with. They had to find a way to make one weapon, the Leviathan axe, feel really satisfying to use. And I agree, like the sound sells it because it sounds like it fucking hurts, and it's awesome to swing it around.
And like, again, when you recall it and catch it, it gives you the sense of like, no, this thing is rushing back to your hand. Like, this is like catching as a goaltender that 100-kilometer-an-hour slap shot in your glove, or I guess a fastball pitch as an umpire. I don't know. I played hockey, but
it like, makes it feel like a real weapon.
Exactly, and like that's the make or break thing. And I think that there's so many little details that go unnoticed, but without them, the game wouldn't be as good. And nobody cares about, for the most part, sound design. And so I think that's one of my favorite examples of how better sound design or just more attention to it really changed a game. And some people care, some people don't, some people don't even realize they care. But I think the industry needs to keep up that good trend, because it's a new level of immersion, especially with Microsoft and Sony both adding headphone jacks to their controllers, so you can get that high quality headphone surround sound no matter what, even if you don't have like a sound bar on your TV. Everybody has access to it.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think we're limited to this is a modern trend. I mean, you want to talk about like ambience and immersion, like the original Silent Hill and Silent Hill 2, blocky, ugly looking games on an objective level. And for a lot of people, what sold it more than anything else was the sound design, because you can play that game in its original form and it's still scary, even with potato face NPCs and
just... Hey, that's what the fog is for.
The fog is for the potato face NPCs, yeah. The real horror lies beyond the mist. James is in the mirrors just staring at his own low polygon face, just... but the sound design sold that more than anything else. And I would say that, like, I don't know if it's a modern trend. I think it's just, like, things that happen in video games that sometimes go underappreciated. In Silent Hill's case, it was definitely appreciated.
Yeah.
I think the sound design has always been there. I just feel like gamers don't care as much about it because everyone's just been so focused on graphics. They want graphics to improve, but not, like, audio stuff that can like really immerse you.
I heard once in my life that a game needs to be played in a certain way to emphasize the audio with like full like surround sound headphones. That was Senua's Sacrifice Hellblade.
Yep.
Like that's the one time it ever happened.
That putting on my headphones and playing that game, just that's an experience. I don't want to say it's ASMR, but like you feel the voices whispering to you, and it's got what I don't know, a lot of people are calling 3D sound, which is just binaural audio, but you can tell the placement of all of the voices whispering to you, and it does such a good job of putting you in Senua's position. Like, oh, it's over here. It's everywhere. And I wish we would see that taken past a proof of concept. And I know Hellblade 2 is coming out and all this, but like one IP doing it is a proof of concept. And I think we need to go further.
Yeah, total agreement here. I know that it's trite to mention Dark Souls or Souls-likes, but one of the things that sold me on Bloodborne was the sound design, because it's such there's no music only happens in boss fights, but the world of Yharnam is expressed throughout all of these sounds, and like the sound of a huntsman bringing down their axe as you're dodging away, or the sound of just the footsteps of larger monsters as you're going, just totally sell from the very beginning that atmosphere of dread. I think the lack of soundtrack breaks that even further into focus, and like kudos to that game for that direction.
I know we've all played Bloodborne, so I'm interested in if you guys have a favorite sound. Because for me, it's not my favorite weapon in the game, but I think it's the definitive weapon. It's the saw cleaver. Like, you have to use saw cleaver your first playthrough, right?
You can't not use that weapon.
Yeah, like you have to see how fast you can get to look like the guy on the cover. And it's like 15 minutes and you can have everything. You need the saw cleaver. But my favorite sound effect in that whole game is the saw cleaver's transformation attack, where you swing and it extends out from the short blade to the long one. Like that, and then back again when it folds. That is, like, when I am comboing and I hear that sound, it's like, ooh, those serrated edges just cut through the beast hide, and it's like, yeah, I'm a fucking hunter. Like, let's go, Pale Blood.
And that's when you climax, right?
Yeah.
I climax when I hear that the start sound. But,
and it just continues on.
Just continues on the entire combo.
I go, it's tantric.
He's left exhausted by the end of it. Honestly, like, it's like one of those things where the reward for playing is the gratification you feel for it. Like, same thing with that boss defeat sound that happens in every Souls game, like that quiet, like, sound effect when the title screen pops up of you defeated or Nightmare Slayed. Like, that shit, like, is an immediate, like, oh, thank God, to the senses.
Yeah. Like, I know right now, Aaron, you're going through the Demon Souls remake.
Yes.
And I'll admit it, I'm a FromSoft fanboy. I'm starting to lose some of that luster because they are losing respect by doing pre-order bonuses, but that's a whole other thing. Has anything grabbed you from the sound in Demon Souls?
Honestly, like, not as much, just because, like, it is a remaster, so it's like it's still using old sounds. So
I thought they redid pretty much everything, because
honestly, I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah, I never played the original Demon Souls. I'm a fake Souls fan.
It's been so long since I played the original that it's hard for me to tell. But I mean, like, that general sense of ambience is still there, that like dread in each world. But so far, compared to the other FromSoft games, it's not standing out as much to me.
Okay,
yeah, that's fair.
Now, do you think that it's just not standing out? Do you think it's because it wasn't technically FromSoft who did it, or do you think you're just so used to that style of world building now?
See, I want to say I'm used to that style of world building.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to put it on Blue Point Games because they did a fantastic job. There's no way it's their fault. I think
they know how to, like, remaster an experience properly. Like, the Shadow of the Colossus remake is beautiful.
Yes.
More than just
Shadow
a
of the Colossus
upscale.
remaster. There is a difference between remaster and remake.
You're right. Yes, the remaster.
Yeah.
Which actually that's another game with good sound design.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It sells. You, like, in a game like that where, like, half of it is a spectacle, you need something to sell a spectacle. The sound of these things, like, romping around and such outside your hiding place, and you're trying to figure out a way, just is so nerve-wracking because you're communicated how fucking big they are just from the sound of them crashing down on the ground.
And even that game, I feel like most of the story is told because of the sounds. Like, you go there knowing you need to save this girl and you need to defeat these colossi, but until the end you don't really get a story. So your only sense of story is when you're climbing these beasts and stabbing them and hearing them cry out, and you're starting to realize, hey, maybe I'm a fucking dick for doing this.
That's what to say. You just described the life of the school bully who goes on to end up in jail.
Oh God.
Like,
I've been playing Long Dark recently, and
is that
Long
the one
Dark
set in Canada?
Yeah, so it's a survival
yeah.
game set in the deep Albertan wilderness after a post-apocalyptic disaster. I was just remarking to myself that, like, you start up a new run and it drops you off randomly. And for me, this new run dropped me off inside of a house during a blizzard. And so like I was walking around the house, and that game has a walk sound effect that plays as you load up your bag, and it's just this heavy like ka-chunk, 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 and it sounds like you're loaded up with like a whole tent and camping supplies on your back, because you are, and the wind is just kind of like gently obscured by the sound of the building around, but like you could still hear it howling, and like your footsteps creak on the stairs. It was such a good experience for an art style that is not so realistic. So you could be taken out of the realism of the situation by like this kind of cartoony art style, but the sound design is so good it made up for it and became this hugely immersive experience. You felt like you were there. And I loved Hinterland Games for it. They're like a very small studio, Canadian, that managed to accomplish this. Like, it's amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it.
So, as Canadians in, again, very snowy, cold part of the country, I personally judge the snow sound effects in games. And I'm wondering how those from Long Dark played for you, because I, as you guys know, just finished off my first playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I thought the Frozen Wilds DLC was outstanding. Again, because of the sound design, and I paid close attention knowing that we'd be talking about this. And I always thought the rustling of the grass as you went through was great and things like that. But the snowfall sound effects were so good. And I'm like, no, this is actually what it sounds like to walk through deep snow in boots. Yeah. I'm like, this is the right crunch, crunch, crunch as you compact it. And I was like, I know I keep gushing about this game, but like, it's so good. And
it would be weird if it didn't sound right, because you knowing that what that sounds like, you get this dissonance when it's like, that's weird. It's the same like in the early 2000s when you had people laughing about the way the characters walked on stuff, because it was all like stock sound effects. So you'd have somebody like, and they're just like going at a casual pace, but because that was the run sound that they had, it just throws you out of it.
Or the Kingdom Hearts just running and walking animations.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. There's one more thing on this subject I wanted to ask you guys your thoughts on, and I know you're both, maybe not primarily, but you're both PC game. How large are your current hard drives?
Oh god. Terabyte.
Terabyte, shit, nice.
Terabyte HDD and then like 250 gigabytes for SSD, something like that.
Okay. And Brayden?
Oh, mine's crap. Yeah, like 300 gigabytes hard drive, and then a separate OS drive that's like 500. I don't have solid state. It's a crappy laptop.
No, that's fair. I mean, I have 2 typewriters for laptops, so you know how it goes.
Don't got that money for the SSD. You got to pay up if you want that privilege, son.
The reason I bring this up is because as much as I love sound effects, good sound takes a lot of storage space. Because to get good sound, you need a WAV file, which is uncompressed, untreated audio straight from the source. Not a lot of people can tell the difference between something like a WAV, a FLAC, or even an MP4, but it's there. And if you want the best, it's got to be either like a WAV or a FLAC. But it's controversial when you put these in, because we've all heard of Warzone and Call of Duty.
Yes, we have.
Modern Warfare Remake. The reason that Warzone was over 100 gigabytes was because the audio in that game was uncompressed, high-quality audio. Every gun sound, every movement sound, everything was as pure as it could be. And some people like that immersion. Some people care about that. Some people don't, because then they can't put it on their hard drive and play with it, right? Like, how many people have to say, well, I'll play Warzone.
Like half the things on my Steam library.
Yeah, It's like, I'll play Warzone this weekend. I guess I'll download it now. Like, it's one of those things you have to be conscious of, and like that's the cost.
How many
right?
games do I have to get rid of to have this kind of sound quality?
Honestly, like, I had to make that decision with Baldur's Gate 3 earlier. That game is 80 fucking gigabytes. And it's not
many as Final, that's as many as Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I again, tiny little baby laptop. It takes up a lot as far as I'm concerned. If I had terabyte hard drive, hell yeah, would not worry about that.
Yeah.
Original Warzone would have taken up your entire hard drive.
Oh god, are you kidding me?
It was like 256 gigabytes.
Do you know how much porn? I mean, do you know how much mods for porn mods?
I was gonna say porn mods. Skyrim. But like that's the cost of it. And some people love it, some people hate it. And personally, I think it's a great thing. Do I have room for that kind of stuff? No. For some single player games, I would absolutely take a high quality download to do it because I want that immersion. I just wish they gave you that option, right? Like you could download compressed or uncompressed. So like music streaming services and sites have things like that. They have, you can choose your download type.
Yes.
I don't personally know how hard it would be to code in two types of audio systems like that. But if you could just, kind of like flipping a switch in there, checks for audio list A, which is all uncompressed waves. And then if it's not there, it looks for E, which is the compressed to save space. Like, I don't know how difficult that would be. I don't know how much that would take.
I
but
think more so it'd be when you
go
to download it, you choose which version.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just like back in the day when we all downloaded music to go onto our iPods.
Bruce, you're showing our age right now. Please stop.
Yep, and with the generation, I got that.
Only millennials do podcasts. I think we already showed our age.
Oh okay. Fuck. That's fair.
Oh man, we gotta hit it. New format, exclusively through OnlyFans.
Thank you. I'm glad I got you on board with the OnlyFans hype train.
We're not having that discussion now.
Speaking of compression, we are gonna have to cut that topic off now, Bruce, because we've got some other things that we wanted to get discussed. Aaron, I believe you have a pitch for us. So hang on, just let me get my papers here. Let me get my papers.
I'm scared.
So, it's no worries. I'm just the CEO of Acta Blizzard Stadia. I don't know where I'm going with this bit.
If you're with those companies, then loot boxes. Loot boxes all the way. Sold. You got it.
Sold. We got a solid premise.
What about card packs?
Oh, card packs. Yes, card packs are fantastic. So, for me, is a good Superman game possible? We've kind of experienced many low points, including flying through rings in the city with horrible controls.
Superman 64.
Yeah. We've had like 3 good Superman games, like just Superman games. Death and Return to Superman for the Sega Genesis. It was probably on a few other things. That's what I had it on, which is just a brawler. So like that, you kind of hard to fuck up a brawler. We had Superman Apocalypse, which was based on the animated series. So again, that's kind of hard to fuck up when you're taking a good property already. And we had Superman Returns, which had a good premise in the sense that it gave the city a health bar. It made Superman invincible, but your city had a health bar. Just its downfall was every activity in the game was kind of boring and repetitive.
Yeah, true story. I once spent an hour in Superman Returns just fighting Bizarro because we ended up getting into a thing where we were using our wind blast to knock each other further up into the air, and we just kept doing it. And once I realized what was happening, encouraged it, because that resulted in the two characters knocking each other into orbit and just having like a Matrix Revolutions battle in the air. It was so awesome. I could not comprehend that it was happening. And this was in like 2005. That was like blowing my mind as a kid.
I know neither of you are super big into the Smash community, but what you just described is like the Superman version of the Luigi ladder, and I fucking love it. Because Luigi ladder is one of the best techs ever.
It it had a great premise, but I agree. It was pretty mediocre in most other respects.
All right, Aaron. I am not a Superman fan.
I know that. I know you hate Superman with a passion.
I don't find the character interesting. He's God. Like, you can't do anything to him. You can't kill him. He's always gonna win. He'll find a way. If he dies, he'll come back. That doesn't make interesting gameplay to me. Like, I say that, but like Dark Souls is one of my favorite series. But how would you sell a Superman game from a gameplay standard, an idea, to a non-Superman fan?
So, I'm gonna bring up Cory Barlog. He was the director for God of War. He actually pitched an idea for a Superman game, or at least gave his idea in an interview. So his idea was Smallville meets Persona. You're laughing. You probably think that's a fucking stupid idea, but honestly, think about
just
it.
Riverdale?
Brayden, you're cutting out a little.
Sorry, am I sounding better now?
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry, Superman shill over here, so I'm just like vibrating with excitement.
It's like, yes,
and
Persona
shill over
Persona
there.
and Superman.
Exactly. Like, unlike Bruce, I am big Superman fanboy. Love that dude. Love the stories. Sick of how many shitty interpretations there are of him in popular culture. I just want somebody to do it right. God damn it.
I know. We've never had a good right game.
As the resident non-Superman fan, pitch me a game. Like, win me over.
So let me finish with his idea.
With Barlog.
So he wanted it that, you know, you're going to school, but you're uncovering that you're the greatest American hero ever. But you like, it's still an awkward coming of age story. So you're still going out fighting stuff, but you're also spending your day being a normal high school student, doing Persona stuff, sleeping with like 5 different people, and taking them all on Valentine's dates. I made that part up on my own, but that's kind of what Persona
dating
is.
sim.
Look, man,
Yes.
I'm just trying to get the 100% completion. All right, I need their chocolates. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not because I'm, not being faithful to these people. I need the chocolates. Okay. I'm in it for the chocolates.
His next idea. So he was kind of confusing. It didn't. No one knows if like he meant for the same game or like a different game. But his next idea involved branching paths for Superman. And Bruce, I think you'll appreciate this idea. You make Superman invincible, but now he has to decide who he's saving. Because you can't save everyone. So now it becomes more of a psychological game. And Superman's dealing with the sadness and depression from not being able to save every single person.
I think that would be really cool. What's the PlayStation game where you have like neon powers?
Infamous.
The original Infamous did something like that, where it was save the doctors or save your girlfriend.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, there was no consequences. It didn't matter.
Well, it was just a simple move your alignment to good or bad.
Yeah, no, the Paragon Renegade system just sucks.
Yes.
If you're like that Superman game you described where it matters, that would be really cool if your decision changed the world. Not only changed how Superman thought of himself, but like
how everyone
people
else
are going to start to
him.
hate Superman.
Yes.
Right? Because, and then you get into the political aspect of Superman is, can we just let a god live free among us, or like what are the consequences of it? That would be interesting from a narrative standpoint.
Yes. Now, to add into that.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, do yours first.
I know how to sell Bruce. So you're having people change their opinion on stuff, and you're changing the world. Nemesis system.
I knew. I
knew it was coming.
I was setting it up so you could tee it away.
But I think I've said this before. Like I think Nemesis system is perfect for superhero games. You know, as you're
more context for those who are unfamiliar with the term that we're describing, Aaron, how would you describe what the Nemesis system is in a nutshell? Like, where did it come from? Why does it work in some ways?
So it started out in Shadow of Mordor, the Lord of the Rings game from 2014, 2015, right. Somewhere around there. 14. Okay. In that you would kill orcs, but as you're killing orcs, it's kind of like I want to say grid system. It's not really a grid system. Like a pyramid.
I was gonna say it's kind of like a procedurally generated enemy that then builds on itself.
Well, because you can see the like, I'm just gonna use pyramid. They're all in like different sections, and they like move up the pyramid till they're at the top. So as you're killing people, other ones become stronger and gain different abilities until they reach the top, and they're like really hard to kill. And as you keep fighting these guys, they run away, and maybe before they were weak to bow and arrow, but now they're wearing armor, and you can't use that anymore. You have to find a new way to hurt them.
Yeah, like you tried sniping them in the head, and they survived, and now they come back with a fucking helmet on and one eye, and they remember you.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think that for a Superman game, you know, as you start beating criminals, they come back with more powerful weapons, kryptonite, magic powers, the stuff that Superman's weak to. And I think then it also starts to become a game where you have to think about your fights. Sure, you're all powerful, but now you have to actually put thought into it.
Yeah,
totally.
I'm a huge fan of an Nemesis system for gameplay. I know we will get into this and probably have an entire episode dedicated to how we can.
Our love for this,
yeah, 100%.
Monolith, please DM us.
Yeah, I think that what you described with your choices matter, like incorporate that into the Nemesis system.
Yes.
In a way that like, you know, you saved as many people as you could, but the families of the people who couldn't be saved are now angry, and they become the enemies. And
yes.
You have kind of like that situation from that god-awful movie, Batman v Superman, where Bruce Wayne hates Superman because he tears down Metropolis while Bruce Wayne is there. You're creating enemies by saving people. Right? Like everything has a consequence, and it's going to matter.
Yeah, I definitely think that's how to make the most interesting Superman game, because just having him
be
go. I cut you off way too much.
No, it's all good. It seems definitely like the draw that we're looking for is like we want to explore like the concept of Superman, and like doing that by a video game means coming to consequences with the fact that you have ultimate power, and why did you choose to do that?
Yes.
While we were talking, I did have two ideas that came to mind. First is a Superman combat game that structures itself like a flight sim, except instead of controlling a jet, you're controlling Superman. So, like, it's just a Superman game focused entirely on the flying and, like, going Mach 10 with your arms out and the cape fluttering behind you.
Does it involve
Superman
Red Ring?
Simulator?
Yeah, just like Tom Clancy's Hawks, but instead of Hawks, it's Superman.
Like I said, I'm down if it has red rings and time trials.
Hell yeah.
And really horrible controls.
Second one is like, if we get Lucas Pope on the phone and sell him this game, I think he would come up with something like this. It's like Papers, Please, where you are a journalist that is now tasked with being Superman's PR guide. So you handle Superman's Twitter account.
Holy shit.
And you have to decide what stories get published and like manage the public reaction to this demigod that walks amongst us. So you have to find ways to like get the public to like this guy. Stories have unintended consequences if you decide to publish them.
100%. We have to cut that bit out of the final release. Aaron, we're making this game. Holy shit, we're making this real.
That definitely
Superhero
is a good
PR
idea.
Twitter account simulator 2021. We're gonna do it.
I just want to point out, in the Injustice comics, fucking Superman released on Twitter Batman's identity. Straight out just tweeted, Batman is Bruce Wayne.
Oh man.
Oh my god. He's fucking like sent it out to his patrons, like, you know, just guys, if you support me for a coffee, I'll tell you who Batman is.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans to find out who Batman is.
Holy crap, can you imagine like a crowdfunded superhero? Like it's Iron Man, but instead of having millions of dollars from his company, he runs a Kickstarter to build his armor.
That sounds like a Kojima game, honestly.
That does sound like a Kojima game.
With everything he does about... No, it's either Kojima and or Suda51.
No, 100% be Kojima. He would run an actual Kickstarter, and how much you raised in real life is how much you raised in the game.
Absolutely. He's so meta.
Yeah.
And then he'd put himself in the game as the narrator, explaining how it works.
Oh, man.
Everyone that donates gets to be in the game.
Yeah, no, I can actually see that.
So you mentioned, like, consequences and stakes. And yeah, I think that would get me interested in a Superman game. Because why I don't like Superman is, like, everybody in mainstream media only cares to portray him as a super strong, indestructible guy. And oh no, here's another super strong, indestructible guy. Let's have them fight. Oh no, Superman falls, but he's back now to do it again, but better. Like, it doesn't matter. He's got plot armor. And but I like what you guys are saying with, you know, make it actually matter in your decisions. So my thought is, you know, all your decisions matter. Let's build off what we've already talked about. But if you fall in the game, you know, you lose the fight or whatever, you black out. You're knocked unconscious while you recover, kind of thing. And when you do come back, you're left in a crater, in a pile of rubble. The city is mostly destroyed around you. And that's a consequence. And people remember. You have to deal with people saying, oh, you didn't save us because you couldn't do it. My family's dead. And you have to pick up where you left off and start whatever, like the boss or the encounter again.
It sounds almost like a superhero strategy game, like trying to figure out like work management, like where do you send Superman now that would make most efficient use of his powers?
That's not quite what I was thinking, but that is interesting. Mostly my thought was, like, because I had kind of caught myself and said Superman doesn't die and he's got no stakes and always comes back to life. And then I made the comparison to Dark Souls. And I thought, like, okay, but instead of coming back at a bonfire, you just wake up in the crater, yeah, pummeled, you know, and how do you pick up from there? And that way you can give Superman a health bar without him being able to die, because it's incorporating the idea of a traditional health bar stamina system, but also that idea of like the real character whose health you have to worry about is just Metropolis and then Gotham in the DLC.
We're talking about Nemesis system, so Shadow of Mordor, not to go too deeply into the plot, but you're also playing a character who cannot die. They are mortal, bonded to like an undead spirit. So in game, every time that your character dies, it is acknowledged that they are just coming back and respawning. That's like an actual thing that's happening to the character.
Yes.
What the consequences for death are is that the person you're fighting, the nemesis that you're currently dealing with, is most likely going to get stronger as a result of defeating you. So somebody who's going to be whooping your butt is going to be even harder next time. And that's the motivation to not die in a fight, because you're like, I really don't want this guy to be a pain later on.
We thought it was bullshit when enemies learned how to heal. It's even more bullshit when they learn how to level up.
Exactly. And we're the fodder. Oh my god.
No, I think that's an interesting take, because like the question's been answered. How do we make a good Batman game? And
give it to Rocksteady.
Exactly. And like, sure, there's diminishing returns on that because of the cinematic grandiosity of the AAA gaming industry. But like, let's just look at Arkham Asylum as its own thing. Like, that changed the way people think about a Batman game.
It changed the way people thought about superhero games.
Yeah, and there's always that question of like, oh, are they going to make is Rocksteady going to do a Superman game? And there's always the rumors, and and then it's not, and now we're getting Court of Owls kind of stuff, and it's like, cool, but what is the Arkham Asylum of Superman? Like, how would that play to make Superman fun? And I think what you brought up about Barlog, like, it's pretty cool. And then I think just in general, we've kind of settled on like social consequences, right? Because I think you have to come at it from that philosophical view / like social integrity view of what does it mean to be an alien god?
Yeah. I mean, I think that what you're getting at is like, not to get too far into like comic book territory here, but like I think what you're getting at is the fundamental issue with like any sort of Superman game is that it's not fun to be Superman. The fun thing to do would be to take all those powers and just rampage across the city and drop kick tanks into the air and throw them down. Basically just do Prototype, but with Superman. Awesome. Just rampage. Nobody could stop you. It's just a good violence orgy. But Superman is a character that's all about restraint. It's all about not doing that, about taking the better path. And that's something that I think gamers are a bit resilient to do. Usually we ask for more freedom, not less. And Superman's all about restricting your options because you can't.
See, I think with that idea, putting that into the everything you do has consequences system, make him as powerful as he can be. But if you're going ape shit, throwing tanks at fucking buildings, ripping up buildings to hit people, it's going to have consequences. So I think it would be down to the player to have restraint.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
My thought on that, and this would take it would increase replayability, but it's basically on the level of the amount of content in like Witcher 3 and then including like Blood and Wine. What if, depending on the level of restraint you do, you either end up as Boy Scout Superman, or you can delve down the path of Injustice Universe Superman, or you can become the God Emperor of mankind and rule with an iron fascist fist. Then you can explore that.
So what you just brought up reminded me of the way that Dishonored handles that sort of thing, because Dishonored is also an immersive sim that hands you a bunch of powers and then asks you not to use them, because if you do, it's more likely that you're going to get the high chaos, quote unquote, bad ending. Some people have problems with that system, but like maybe that would be how it gets applied. Like, as you rampage through the world will reflect the consequences of being rampaged, and usually that means it's harder for you, and that way the player that wants that challenge can push for the horrible world is ruins approach, and the one that's a perfectionist can go for like the no innocents die,
Boy Scout.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think that you struck something there with the immersive sim. I think in the industry we are in now, doing an immersive sim in something the size of Metropolis, of a city, is doable. you'd combine something like the size of one of the provinces in Breath of the Wild kind of thing, the amount of detail in something like Hitman, where everything can be interacted with and stuff like that. And yeah, I think a Superman immersive sim where everything, you have everything from the get-go. There's no unlocks. There's no there's no leveling up. It's just, can you do
Superman.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you are God. Now, do you want to be benevolent or malevolent? And it's not like black and white. You got a little dial that's going to go one way. It's, you can do the good option and still have people hate you.
Oh,
And
definitely.
then you have to decide how you react to people hating you. Does the player change their play style because they're now worried about people hating them? Or do they play in a way where they're doing what is right and kind of like a utilitarian thing?
That's very interesting.
I wouldn't buy this game day one because I don't do that a lot, but I would absolutely hear both of you gush about it and then play it.
Yeah, man.
No,
Just
you,
like
you
how
would
I'm-
buy it and never play it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
No.
He gets around
wait
to it in 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
Guys, I'm just getting a PS4 because of the two of you. Like, that's fine. I don't need
Yeah.
a PS5 yet.
Oh god, I can't afford a PS5 yet. Speaking of affording and time, so more or less, I'm trying to segue. How are we doing for time, Aaron?
I wasn't timed that at all. I thought Bruce was still timing.
No, that's good. Do you have anything else you wanted to say? Like, I think we've had a lot of fun on this topic.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
a non Superman fan, like, you guys have piqued my interest. I could go for that Boy Scout.
All right. I think that what I want to do now is to close out the podcast. I wanted to play a little game with you guys. This is going to be Brayden's Hall of Obscure Games. Now, I'm going to show you images from a video game. If you know what it is immediately, go ahead and shout it out. But if you don't, and I'm going to assume you don't, we're going to ask you a few questions as I'm showing you these images, and I just want you to respond as honestly and succinctly as you can.
I got
All right.
this.
All right.
Are you gonna do a screen share?
Yes. All right.
Okay, watch stream. This
What year do we
is
think this game came out in?
what year? I'm saying this is a PSP game from 2006.
I could see this being a fucking PS2 game from like 2002.
All right. As you can see, there's a gentleman who seems to be auditioning as a member of the Scooby Gang.
I was about to say he looks like a knockoff Scooby Gang member. He's like
The lost Scooby Gang member.
It's like they threw them all together.
We got this lollipop chainsaw here that has been
Absolutely, that looks like Lollipop Chainsaw. Juliet
Thrown up-
Starling voice.
thrown up in vines, but like also like has a lock on it, like a padlock. I'm curious what the function of the padlock is.
To keep it together so
Yeah,
you
come
can't
on.
tear it apart, idiot. Come on, you need the lockpicking lawyer to explain this to you?
So I love the Ninja Turtle.
I was
thing
gonna
that we
say
got
discount
here.
Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, I love it. All right, image number 2.
Oh,
What do you think now?
so it's a rhythm. Is this a rhythm game or a really weird take on QuickTime events?
Sure, all I know is that I see
Wait,
God
this
in
is-
this kid's
This
eyes.
is an Xbox game.
maybe,
Xbox
maybe.
buttons.
It's definitely
Okay,
a
those are
2000s
Xbox
game
buttons.
because you can tell from the hair. It's super fucking spiky.
That's true. This is okay. I figured it out. This is the autobiography of Derek Weebly from Sum 41 telling the story that led to Fat Lip.
Only understood about half of that. I also love the heart icon over here. Like, it kind of just looks like with the cherries, you got like cherry cinnamon hearts you got on
I know. It
Valentine's.
also kind of just looks like a bean. This
Yeah.
was this game walked so Fall Guys could run.
Can we talk about the like bat dinosaur thing's face? It's
What's wrong
like
with it?
Kind of cute.
what is wrong with it?
Can we talk about the face on the token behind it?
I think that's like a painting.
I'm kind of glad that the screenshot is put in this way. Also, what a screenshot to have found online.
Okay. So we've got Derek from Sum 41 wants to be in Mystery
Why is he so
Inc.,
small? What the
but
fuck?
the Ninja Turtles are not having any part of that, but only Michelangelo because he cloned himself.
What game do we think this is?
Pardon?
I don't
What type
know.
of game do we think it is?
I honestly, it's early Xbox.
Some
Or
platformer adventure
really
game?
bad. I'm thinking it's a platformer because everything in this time was a platformer.
That is true.
All right, that's a fair guess. Fair guess. Here's the some of the
Wait,
box
this is
art.
grabbed by the Ghoulies?
Yeah. So and since you guys already guessed the console, I'm just
Wait,
gonna go ahead and show
Grabbed?
the.
Is this a remake of Grabbed by the Ghoulies?
No, this is Grabbed by the Ghoulies from the creators of Donkey Kong Country and Banjo-Kazooie. That's right, folks. This was a rare original made after Microsoft bought them for millions of dollars.
Oh.
Am I confusing Grabbed by the Ghoulies with Zombies Ate My Neighbors?
You are absolutely
Yes.
confusing that. I fucking forgot what this game was called for like the longest time.
That's because it's only on
so
Xbox.
bad. Oh my god.
Wait. Okay, real question though. Is this included in Rare Replay?
I hope so.
I
feel like it's not, but
It is.
it
I
is.
found, according to Wikipedia. It was also nominated for Console Family Game of the Year prize at the 2004 Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Annual Interactive Achievement Awards.
That's
Ever
a
heard of it?
long title.
Neither have I.
This is why Game Awards aren't taken seriously.
Yes, 2003. It's an action adventure game with beat 'em up elements. But here's the kicker. All combat and melee attacks are maneuvered with the control sticks. The game's camera you'd use with the triggers.
What?
What the fuck?
You're saying I would hate the combat because not only is it not Dark Souls combat, it's the opposite of Dark Souls.
It is real bad. I remember playing this like very early on. I had just gotten an Xbox. This and Lord of the Rings 2 Towers were the only games I had.
Okay, wait, give me one sec. I need to.
I think he's
I need-
rethinking his life right now.
I think it needs to rage. Oh man.
Okay. So you are telling me that I attack with my thumb,
Yep.
but use my index fingers to aim the
Grab a
camera.
controller.
Yes.
That's what I did. I
Yes.
just grabbed a controller. So this is like a twin stick
Okay,
shooter.
hang on. You guys are not using the proper experience. We are not talking your fancy PlayStation controllers. We are not talking the Nintendo Switch. We are talking the original Xbox controller.
I don't remember what that controller looks like.
Put it this way: your hands are too small for it. Nobody holds the Duke.
Here, I'm just gonna pull up a picture. Oh,
Oh yeah, that
Like-
one.
that shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, the Duke was too big.
It was so bad.
So
It was
are you
so-
still using the left joystick to move your character?
I didn't know they would make you use the right one.
It's actually a concept that was used in Eternal Darkness for the GameCube, and Eternal Darkness is pretty well praised for its combat system. It's because the GameCube was a bit more responsive, a bit more useful for that tactile thing. Grabbed by the Ghoulies was originally going to be a GameCube game, and then Microsoft said, nah, we need an original for the Xbox's catalog of games, because this was back in 2003 when it had Halo, and that's about it.
That's still all that they have.
Still all that they have. I want to go ahead
Yeah,
and
you're right.
I want to go ahead and read for you guys just the synopsis. Follow along with me, if you will.
Oh dear.
Cooper and his name is Cooper.
So Cooper's the blonde guy.
Also, what do you think his girlfriend's name is, based on this image of her? Let me just.
Oh, is Stacy?
Yeah, I could see Stacy.
It's Stacy.
Or like Veronica.
Wait, or Ashley. Or Ashley.
Cooper and his girlfriend Amber are looking from a store. This is literally the opening of Rocky Horror Picture Show. They stumble across Ghoulhaven Hall, a mansion owned by Baron von Ghoul. When Cooper calls him a creep, Von Ghoul kidnaps Amber in retaliation. Yeah,
so when he gets called a creep, he proves that he's a creep?
I'll show you a fucking creep.
Fuck.
Okay, there's escapades going on as Cooper is trying to find Amber. Eventually he does. The mad scientist Dr. Crackpot, spelled with a Mortal Kombat K.
That's so edgy, I love it.
And transforms Amber into a hideous ghoulie, spelled...
I have a photo of this. You know they made her like a sexy teenage ghoulie, because this is the era of Crash Bandicoot having a sexy, like, anthropomorphized girlfriend.
I found it. Okay, I gotta drop it into the dude. There we go.
Oh dear.
Oh.
He just ripped off Shrek.
Guys, fucking stop fat shaming, all right?
We're not fat shaming.
All I said was we ripped off Shrek. This
I don't
looks like
see
Fiona.
I don't see this as a problem. This is like, she's got the pink hair. She's like Ramona Flowers.
I would say it's not a problem if she was the main playable character, because representation. I want to play games that star people that look like me.
Why does it look like her teeth were like photoshopped in?
I have no idea.
That entire mouth just looks like they photoshopped it in afterwards.
Cooper asks the cook Ma Soupswill for help, and she tasks him with collecting 3 ingredients she needs to synthesize the cure. When Cooper pours the cure on Amber, Soupswill mixed up one of the ingredients, resulting in Amber transforming into a bigger, hostile ghoulie. Yes, you have a boss fight with her, but don't worry. She's returned to normal. You're about to leave the mansion, and then
I'm sorry. So because you make things worse, and she gets mad that you made things worse, you then have to domestically abuse her?
Apparently. It's...
Okay.
My God. According to the designer, Greg Males, the name of the game materialized after he overheard someone mention being grabbed by the ghoulies.
I mean, that's a good way to come up with a title. I just wanted... I would have rather played the game of that story.
God. So I hope you guys enjoyed retro gaming.
Yeah, so this was
show
Rare's crowning achievement, right?
This was
100%.
one of
Donkey Kong walked so grabbed by the ghoulies could run.
Yeah. It's so funny looking at it, like where the Microsoft era of Rare begins, and they go from making some of the most talked about 3D platformers of their time to doing nothing.
All right, you know, I'm gonna say it because I think it has to be said.
Cooper for Smash Bros. Ultimate?
Absolutely, Cooper for Smash Bros. Boys.
I fucking knew it.
Hottest icons all collected in one spot.
Oh my God! All right, I'm gonna cancel that stream. That's enough of looking at that weird dude. All right.
Just think of the kit. Just think of the gameplay Cooper could bring to Smash Brothers.
It would force people to be using the thumbsticks for movement.
God. You don't have shields anymore.
Oh, God. All right, I think this is about all, folks. Thank you for joining us at the Dialog Trees podcast.
Inaugural episode.
Inaugural episode. please, if you end up hearing this, we have no idea if we're going to release it in any way, shape, or form. But if we do, please let us know what you think about it and throw out suggestions for what you'd like to hear us talk about next. We're always open to it. We'll talk more about the dick folding in thing later on. We'll have a special episode all dedicated to it.
Is that going to be the logo?
Oh God, let's get on it right now.
Yeah, if you want to draw that, go right ahead.
You know, I'm going to throw this out here right now because I am dead serious. That idea of a superhero Twitter PR guy as a game, we need to get on that.
Bruce, stop making more shit that I have to cut out from this fucking video.
No, we're leaving it in.
What? No, why?
Cut it out.
God damn it.
We'll never know.
You can't cut it out because this is the ending for the podcast. We can't leave these people.
Good job, Bruce. You ruined the ending.
So just you heard it here first. Superhero Twitter PR guy, Simulator 2021, coming out sometime in 2022.
Exclusively on the Nintendo Jagex. Or the Atari Jaguar. Let's do that one.
I was good. Like Jagex are the guys that make RuneScape, dude.
What the coming exclusively as a module inside RuneScape. There we go. You have to log on to RuneScape in order to access the special giveaway code we're giving out. All right. Fuck it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.